Marine Le Pen versus Emmanuel Macron. We have some latest polls, and it's actually showing advancement for Mr. Macron to around 62-63%. Is there actually any chance that Marine Le Pen becomes president?
The short answer is no.
No chance, because the gap is so wide.
Yes, and we have to look at the political arithmetics. You know, just after the first round, Emmanuel Macron has 1 million votes more than Marine Le Pen. That's first point. Second point, we know that the transfer of votes from, you know, the people who voted for other candidates will be positive for Macron among most political categories. He will attract more voters from the left, and even at the center, at the right, people are split. So she will not gain on net very much votes compared to Macron. And finally, we don't see why people who did not vote in the first round suddenly would choose to vote for Marine Le Pen. So I think the outcome is clear. He will be elected the next French president. The only uncertainty is how large the victory. 60% is what most opinion polls project today.
Bruno, talk to me about that, right? Because I guess the concern is, does the margin of victory for Macron then give him a better chance to be able to govern? Because then, June 11th and June 18th, we go into the legislative elections.
Yes, of course. I think that the gap between the two candidates are one of the key elements looking at the next National Assembly election, because the wider the gap, the easier it will be for Macron to say to a French citizen, well, you voted for me with a wide margin, so let's be consistent. You should give me also a majority in the National Assembly.
But what are the chances of that? What are the real chances? He doesn't have a party. And actually, if you look at France, has never been seen in 60 years. You don't have any establishment party in the roundup. How is he going to muster support? Will people swap, right, so that it's his people that can go into parliament?
I think we have to look at different political scenarios between the second round and the National Assembly election. Well, the usual scenario, the usual pattern is there is a clear momentum for the winner. So we know that the turnout ratio in the National Assembly election will decline significantly compared to the presidential election. It always happens. So it will decline. By 30.
Even if this is not a party that we've heard about before. I mean, he even calls it a movement. It's not a party.
Yes, but there is no longer any socialist party. We know that most of the key guys in the socialist parties have endorsed Macron. So normally he should have a better momentum than other parties. This is the usual scenario. Now, there is another scenario, which is we have a fragmented political situation in France. Yeah. We saw that in the first round with basically four political forces with more or less equal weight, you know, far left, center right, far right. So if we have the same degree of fragmentation in the National Assembly election, then maybe no party will have a majority in parliament. This is the second scenario. And there is a final one, I think, the final political scenario. It's back to normal politics, which means that people who endorsed Macron in the first round and in the second round will go back to their initial party. And I think this is the bet made by the center-right party. Right. They've lost in the presidential election, and they expect to have a majority in parliament to impose what we call in France a cohabitation with the president.